Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is the first video on the old Germans. This is a channel that is going to explore, celebrate, profile old German cars and the people who love them. The Old Germans is a channel dedicated to celebrating, exploring, understanding, and loving old German cars. When I was a kid, my dad wasn't really into sports, but what he did do was spend a lot of time in the garage fixing old German cars. And I think my dad, having come from Germany and having grown up in a German family, maybe had a particular predisposition for German cars and for the way that they felt and the way you could take them apart. I think he passed that along to me. So since I've been a small boy, I've always really liked German cars. And I've had quite a few. I've had I currently have an Audi A7 as a daily driver, and I've got a Mercedes 300CE project car that I just picked up. And so I think the love of German cars for me really stems from a love of well-built mechanical things and the way that they look and the way that they drive and just the feel you get when you are driving something that's really well designed, well engineered, and built to last. And I think that the feel of German cars, as much as anything else, is certainly why I really like them and why I always want to have a German car in the fleet. The car I'm driving right now, this is my 2001 Porsche 911 Carrera 4, is really the culmination for me of a lifelong dream. When I was a little kid, watching the movie Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I remember there was a character called Sully who had a 911 Targa, and just before John Matrix, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, dropped him off a cliff,
I lied.
He was driving around in Sully's 911 Targa, and I just remember thinking, like, what an awesome car, what a beautiful piece of machinery. And that feeling, that love of these finely engineered German cars has never left. I've always loved these cars. It's a passion for the mechanical excellence of these cars, but I think it's also maybe a way to feel close to my dad. You know, Will Stark was born in 1950 and had a love of cars until he died suddenly the day after my 41st birthday. And so I think, I miss my dad a lot, and I miss working on cars with him. I miss going to car shows with him. I miss having had something that we both really liked that we could connect over. And for us, it was cars. I grew up reading car magazines. I grew up, reading articles by David E. Davis Jr. and Gene Lindemood and Rich Kepos and Don Schroeder and Chuba Chedre. Look that up. Look up how you spell Chuba Chedre. It's wild. Anyway, so for me, cars have always been my single biggest passion. Other things have come and gone in my life, but I've always liked cars. For a living, I make videos.
Shoot day.
I think it's taken me a long time to get comfortable with the idea of being on camera and talking about cars. And like a lot of us, I'm self-conscious. I mean, I take videos of myself and I'm like, oh my God, I look like a whale. I have a slightly lazy eye, and I'm bald. I'm a dad. All of the things that are kind of the antithesis of a hot YouTuber doing videos on restorations and knowing exactly what to say and being smooth and having great delivery. I have none of those things. But what I do have is a pretty extensive body of knowledge and a really deep and long-lived passion for all things automotive. I'm particularly fond, and always have been though, of old German cars. Especially, I think, as we move towards this very digital future full of, simulacrums, things that aren't real. Some of the things that we can cling on to, all the analog things, are going to have more and more value to a lot of us. So cars from the 80s and 90s, I think, were really kind of a sweet spot of, being decent transportation appliances, but also having a little bit of passion and having a little bit of character. And, this car is a perfect example of that. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But what I like about this car a lot is the fact that when I get behind the wheel and I wind the motor out, I think that there's something to be said for having not a slow car, because I don't think this is a slow car.
Ludicrous speed! Go!
But by modern standards, it's a very slow car. When you can get a Tesla Cybertruck that does 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, this car with a 5-second 0 to 60, running a high 14 quarter mile, isn't going to win any races. But I also think that the sounds that this car makes, and the feel of the steering and the driving position, and the uniqueness of the driving experience is something that I think has a lot of value, certainly for me, and I think for a lot of other people as well. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about what makes cars like this special. We're going to talk about, why we all have this hobby, why we like watching videos on cars that we don't own and probably never will, because you can't buy all of the cars unless you're my friend Larry, but we'll get to him as well. It's interesting when you have a best friend who has 5 911s. It skews your perspective on things a little bit. But I have one 911 now, and I love it. So, I'm a happy camper. I love this car. I love old German cars, and I want to take you along for the journey. So, I hope you keep watching.